I notice I'm now introduced as a guest, so he's already kicking me out before I've actually left. I'm going to try to hold it together a little better than I did this morning, but I don't know that I will. 'Cause this is hard. When I signed the letter of resignation, when I got the phone call last Friday to come receive the appointment as Attorney General, it really was one of the hardest things I've ever done. 15 and a half years of my life invested specifically in this county, in the DA's office. A lot of people I love and care about that were great to me. But when I was literally typing that letter, I knew that my life was really about to change. And one of those changes relates to this place because this is home for me. I recognize and I know that the ability that I have now to serve in the position I'm in is because people in this room invested in me, and they believed in me. And, we talk about the First Amendment, by the way. It's a wonderful amendment unless you're on the receiving end of a lot of criticism, which is kind of what has been going on a little bit this week, although I think it's gotten better. I felt prayer. I mean, not just know that people were praying for me. I felt prayer, and as somebody that this I think craves to bring this state ethical leadership, that was something that was reaffirming to me because it's been a hard week. Told Matt the first thing that I did as AG was worship at Dexter Avenue Memorial Baptist Church. Many of you know that's the church where Martin Luther King was a pastor in Montgomery. And they didn't know me from Adam. And in a service a lot longer than Matt preaches, by the way, they saw me and had me stand. They cheered for me, and then they prayed for me. And I could not have told you in words what that meant because I knew it wasn't just there. I knew it was all over, that people were lifting me up. And despite kind of the words that I heard relating to how the appointment took place, I was absolutely just buoyed by the fact that people who know me, that understand where I came from, they understand what I care about, they understand the things that I've done, that they were there to support me. And y'all, that has meant the world. I have my dream job, and I cannot imagine that there's anybody in this state or farther than that is any luckier than I am because many of you know that was my plan all along, was to run. A rural DA from Marshall County with no money thinks he can become AG. Well, see what God does? And my prayer throughout this was that I be obedient to God's will. If I stayed as Marshall County DA until I retired, I would have been a blessed man. But my prayer was one that said, God, if this is where you want me, if this is the place that I need to be able to live for your glory, then this is what I want. And didn't expect it quite that fast. And so this week, as sort of the gravity of everything that took place happened, what has struck me is what an amazing platform I have to be somebody that's a sinner saved by grace but can demonstrate to others that we do the right thing for the right reason. And so I just am grateful for everything that y'all have done for me. Lifepoint came to me in a time in my life when I needed it. I'll just be candid. I had gotten really comfortable in my faith, which meant that I probably was not spending enough time with God in prayer, just being grateful for what I'd been given. I probably wasn't spending a lot of time around people that didn't look like me and talk like me and act like me. And I needed to be challenged. And I'm not exactly sure why God brought me here, but I am so grateful he did. And what four idiots put together that's called Lifepoint has been one of the most amazing things as far as impacting my life that I can look back on. And again, the hard part is not knowing that I will be an active part here going forward for a while. This is home, but it's not going to be where I physically stay a lot. The plan will be for me to kind of be around until August when Faith goes to college, and then Bridget will come down there. And it's going to be a hard period on my marriage and for my family just because of distance and separation. And some of y'all, maybe it's really neat, the series that we're having right now, that somehow or another we can make that work. And where I know that Satan's going to attack me the most is probably going to be in that area. And that's the one that I need your prayers probably more for the most, for my wife as well as for me. But one of the things that I was able to share with the office was a little bit about the vision for them and my leadership and what I expected of them. And what I gravitated toward was a message that Matt gave probably 7 or 8 years ago. I don't know how long it was. We were talking about Nehemiah. And it was the passage that ends the first chapter where Nehemiah just simply describes that I am the king's cupbearer. And in that message, Matt challenged us with this idea of not being content. Just simply, if we just become settled and comfortable, are we going to react as Nehemiah reacted to his brother's heartbroken knowledge of the walls of Jerusalem being torn down? And was he prepared to act and do something that maybe wasn't necessarily easy? And I really think that's kind of what God's put in my plate, is whether or not I'm willing to react against something that's not very easy. But golly, what a wonderful opportunity I have to be able to do something remarkable for the people of this state. And so thank you for your confidence. Thank you for being people that know me for me. I'm not Attorney General. I'm Steve. I just happen to work there. And I have a really good view of my office, by the way, which one day I hope to share with you because it's pretty spectacular. But I won't be here as much, and know that although I'm not here, I'm with you clearly. It's the beauty of streaming live. It's also the beauty of a recorded sermon and service. But this will always be home for me. And let me just sort of give you this challenge, I guess, a little bit of where we collectively as Lifepoint go forward. Many of you heard Matt tell that story about how somebody approached me many years ago about going to that church that loves people. And I think that's a pretty doggone good reputation to have. But let's make sure that we're investing in each other and that we're discipling one another and that we're growing in our faith collectively and together in whatever mechanism and role that is, whether it be in life groups or one-on-one. Because to the extent that we impact and have the ability to impact the loss that Matt describes about in this community, that's the way it takes place. It's not because of some grand program or big event. It's because we invest directly in the lives of the people of this community. And I think that's how we ultimately make a difference. Don't forget me. Know that I'm there with you and that I will continue to pray for this place. But I also know that for 15 and a half years, I've had the privilege of being DA, and for the 10 plus years that I've been here, this was my place of accountability. This is what kept me grounded. And y'all just pray that I find that at the next place, because there's no doubt that temptations exist and that there will be those that will push me in directions that I don't need to go. Just pray that I find the place of accountability where I can be Steve and that people can invest and care about me, not because of the position I hold, but because of what's in my heart. Thank you for being my friends.